morning. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie. I'm saying good morning because it is morning for me. I'm still in my pajamas, still have a little bit of my raspy morning voice. My hair is still a mess. I'm having morning coffee for the first time in well over a year. I mean, it's decaf, so it's not the same. I just woke up this morning and I was like, I want a coffee. I made myself a little cappuccino. It's delicious. I'm working on my article about the things that I loved March of 2023. Last month I noted that I would make a video for each of my things I loved articles. The reason that I write these articles every month is because a main source of my joy comes from the small moments. These are moments that I once overlooked. I know that it's easy to see people online and they're on these lavish vacations, they have nice expensive things, and we think that those things are why they're happy. For me, I had those things. I was going on nice expensive vacations. I have expensive designer items. They didn't make me happy. It wasn't until I started to slow down and appreciate the little things that I really started to find my joy. As I'm going over March, spring was something that I have been looking forward to since the first day of autumn. I'm not a big fan of cold weather. I don't like when the sun's not out. Today's a rainy Saturday and I enjoy that occasionally. But for the most part, I don't like cold weather. I don't like gray days. I don't like not being able to go outside. I don't like when everything's dead. It's hard for me to find joy in that. Doing this practice of stopping and slowing down, appreciating the small things through autumn and winter helped me to maintain my peace throughout winter. Just really so glad that I made it through without falling into a depression, without eating my emotions. A lot of times I would find myself 20 pounds heavier at the end of winter because I would just find joy in food throughout that sad season for me. And I didn't do that this year. I took care of my mind, body, and soul, and I made it. Springing in March was probably my favorite thing, so much so that it brings me to tears. I'm grateful to be on the other side. Right as I started to go down my gratuity hole and find myself in a deep state of emotional gratitude, my camera shut off. It cut me off. It's like, all right, that's enough. Not anymore. I'm going to dive right in about the things that I loved in March. I'm going to talk about the sun first because it is behind a cloud right now, but any moment is going to come in and light me up. The sun getting stronger, the sun being out for longer is one of my favorite things that I just loved so much about March. It's just like, thank you for the praise, I'm here. Just being able to sit in the sun, get some sun. You can see I have a nice tan. This isn't makeup, this is my face. With the sun coming out more, spending more time here with the UVs getting stronger, I also got to enjoy flowers. I love flowers so much. I talked about it in an article and my video about the things that I'm doing this spring to support my mind, body, and soul. The way that flowers exist is something that really makes me so happy. The flowers in nature, the fact that they started coming up loud and proud, one of the things I loved so much about March. And speaking of flowers and blooming, in March we celebrated my cousin Christina's baby shower. She's expecting a little baby girl. First of all, it was just so surreal to see Christina pregnant. She and I are not too far apart in age. We spent a lot of time growing up together. Seeing her pregnant, it was just really special to be able to spend time with my cousins who I haven't seen in so long. I didn't realize how long it had been since I saw some of them. This is making me emotional just thinking about it. I'm very grateful for my family. I have a wonderful family. One of my cousins moved to North Carolina. Another one of my cousins recently purchased a home. Another one of my cousins had a baby who I hadn't met yet, and I got to meet her, and she's adorable and beautiful, and it was just such a beautiful day. And it was actually weather-wise not a beautiful day. It was really, the weather was not great, but it didn't even matter. We all just had such a great time. Just to catch up with them was so special. So thank you, Christina, for having a baby. If you've been following me, if you follow me on Twitter especially, you know that I'm big on signs and synchronicity, and these little signs from God, from the universe, whoever you think is the creator. I find that there's always signs and syncs. There's a message that's always there to be had. In March, the messages were coming through cars. For me, I saw a lot of really interesting license plates with really fun messages. I saw a lot of decals on cars that were really interesting. In those moments, it's not often that you're just like, ooh, let me stop and take a picture. For me, and I see those signs and synchronicities and I experience one of those moments, it brings me back. Sometimes I cry, so it's not something that I'm like, oh, let me get out my camera. But I did manage to get a few pictures and videos of some of the signs and synchronicities that I saw in March that I loved so much, and I hope that I can pass them along to you as a sign that maybe you need it today. I spent some time in the sun meditating. I woke up and there was a ladybug on me, and a ladybug is a sign of, it's just all good things. If you look up like ladybug sign, ladybug symbolism, it's all really beautiful. So that sign and synchronicity was a really special moment. I have been going through a big process of death and rebirth. I know that's a little wacky to hear, death and rebirth. Jackie, you're not dying. I'm still very much alive. Jackie is alive. A part of me has died. It wasn't until the winter started to subside that I realized that I've been in this major stage of transformation. Just about everything in March pointed fingers at that. Every week I buy new flowers, make new bouquets, and put bouquets all around my house in different rooms. For the first time in my life, I was called to buy lilies. I never buy lilies. It's not a flower I typically aim towards. I told one of my teachers, I really feel like I just had to buy lilies this week. And she told me, go look up the symbolism of that. I looked it up, and it has two prominent meanings. On one end, it is a symbolism of death. On the other hand, it's also a symbolism of rebirth. That felt very surreal to me. It resonated so much. Instead of putting the flowers in the compost like I normally do when they die, I chose to bring them to my sunset spot and to release them into the water, give them back to nature during the sunset. It was a very cathartic experience. If I'm crying on here, just like talking about things, you can only imagine how it is when I'm alone in the middle of my experiences. The waterworks are real. Jumping off of that, sunsets were big for me in March. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love a sunset. Sunsets just do it for me. I coined what I like to call it pink hour, because everyone always talks about golden hour. I think I'm experiencing golden hour right now. My favorite hour is pink hour. When setting turns the sky and the clouds pink, that is my favorite. And one of the things that I'm doing this spring to support my mind, body, and soul, I'll put the blog post in the description. You can also watch the video, is watching more sunsets and making time to go and watch the sunset. In March, I made a commitment to go and see the sunset more often, and I got to witness such beautiful sunsets this month. Able to witness the neighborhood swans. They swam across the sunset. It was just a really beautiful month for sunsets. Not only are the flowers coming into bloom, which is so beautiful to see, like the actual flowers blooming, but there's also those signs that spring is coming. And I had one of those signs at the grocery store, and I noticed that the rose bushes that I normally park next to that were dead and miserable had started to bloom. That like gave me like a moment of like, it's here, it's really here. I have now trained my mind to see the beauty in these small things. They light me up. They're just so exciting. And this is really insignificant and so small. I have these copper string lights. They're these little copper lanterns. They're a battery string light. They don't even plug into the wall. This month they were reflecting off of the wall in a way that they had never done before, and it was so beautiful. It was, look how beautiful this is. I normally don't bring my phone into the bedroom, but I had to get up out of bed and get my phone to make a video of this. These things that I loved about March are all such small things. Like, none of these things are particular. I mean, my cousin having a baby is a big deal, so let's not say that that's small. Catching up with some family that I haven't talked to in a while, some flowers that I saw, the sunset that I saw, the way the light is reflecting off of the wall, like, these are small things. These are not big things, but they added up to my complete and total happiness and joy for the month of March. In pausing and reflecting, taking a moment to realize how much I have to be grateful for, it just produces more things to be grateful for. It trains your mind, it programs your mind to look for the beauty in everything. If I hadn't been making this a practice in my life for the last few years, I wouldn't have noticed the light reflecting off of the wall in a beautiful way. I hope that my things that I loved in March inspire you to just stop and slow down during April and find some things that you love during April. I have a feeling that this lighting situation, minus the bar of like the window that's just inconveniently placed on my face, lighting situation is going to be on my list of things I love for April. My name is Jackie. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the things that I loved in March. I blog and I make videos about elevating, enhancing, and improving your life through finding a balance between your mind, body, and soul. I make new videos every week, so don't forget to click subscribe. And in the interim, you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, or Pinterest. I am at Jackie is Alive on everything, and we'll see you next week.